Hello, friends. Today we will discuss a big issue. Today we will look at Dave Ramsey's bestseller book, Total Money Makeover. In this book, there is a discussion of Dave Ramsey's famous 7 baby steps, which we will talk about in this video. We will tell you baby steps and some important things that you should keep in mind during every step. So let's get started. The first baby step is probably the hardest, ready to make a definite change in 1000 as soon as possible. I want you to note that I said the initial emergency fund, because this $1,000 will not be enough to deal with the big troubles that life can put on you. For example, if you are fired, it will not last long, but it will work in small emergencies. In fact, it will create a wall between you and Murphy. You know Murphy, the one with negative rules who says that if something can go wrong, it will be a very negative person. But many of us have seen him around our house so much that it seems like he is our cousin. We don't want that anymore, and this emergency fund will save them from troubles. Some people will hope because money has become an enemy for them. But when you start saving for this fund is a funny thing. You first feel like you've got your money in control. You're in control of it. Not that it's under your control, it's hard to explain, but the impact is huge. Just focus on putting $100 in cash next month, take a part-time job as soon as possible, or sell stuff so much that the kids think they're next or work overtime. Whatever you have to do, deposit $800 as soon as possible, then put it in a place where you can't easily spend it. I think the best example of someone doing this is of a woman who bought a frame and put 10 brokers' $100 bills in it, then hung it on the back of her coat and wrote a note that broke the glass in an emergency. And let me tell you today, the last thing I'm saying over and over again on this first step is that you want $1,000 in cash. And I mean, it should be cash and liquid. It doesn't have to be invested in a CD or a mutual fund. You want it in cash, and again in a place where it's hard to spend. Let's pay attention to saying baby on step 2, which is Aaron's snowball. This is probably the concept that Dave is most famous for. Farm snowball is where you take on all the debts except the house and put them in order from small to large balances. Then make the minimum payment on all debts except the smallest. You attack that small debt and pay off with the same intensity that you raised an emergency fund of $1,000. At this stage, you may have some questions, such as, should I stop contributing to 401k when you pay off the debt? The answer might be quite surprising. Yes, it may look counterintuitive, especially if the company matches a 4001k. You're passing up free money. That's true, but Dave thinks, and my experience agrees, that focus and the power of immediate victories are more crucial for your long-term financial health. Being healthier is better than getting a match on some 401's contributions. If everything stays the same, continuing yoga while you tackle your debt will keep you ahead. But that's not the world we live in. Paying off debt is tough, so witnessing the progression of small debts gives us emotional strength. It gives us hope and the will to keep fighting. To escape debt, that's why we eliminate the smallest debts first, instead of those with the highest interest. Therefore, it's better to pay debts with a mathematically high interest rate. When you focus solely on numbers and ignore the human element, you miss a crucial point. Emotions greatly influence our decisions. We're more likely to succeed in paying off debt if we see early progress, just like we're more likely to stick with exercise if we lose weight in the first few weeks. Baby steps are key. Lastly, what if Murphy strikes again and drains your emergency fund? If this happens, pause debt repayment and quickly rebuild your $800 emergency fund. Why? Because without it, you might need credit cards for future emergencies. Imagine the emotional toll of making progress on debt only to suddenly slide backwards. That's tough mentally. You're going backwards. You feel deeper in debt due to this emergency. It was all a waste of time. It kills your momentum and sets you back to square one. maybe even further. We don't want that. If your emergency fund takes a hit, refill it. Then attack the debt with full force, baby. The rule is that you should always have an emergency fund equal to 6 months' expenses. But one question I never heard answered is, how do you decide what level you should be at? According to me, the purpose of the emergency fund is to avoid risk. The higher the risk, the closer it should be to 6 months. If you are commission or self-employed, then keep the expenses for 6 months, because there will be a 100% deduction in income on job loss. It will be applicable even if there are chronic diseases in the family, because then the risk is high, better security is needed. But if the job is stable and everyone is healthy, then it will last for 3 months. And like every baby step, do it with full attention. Nothing happens. You did not invest a single penny in 4001k, just raising emergency funds. It takes us to baby step 4, where you can start investing for retirement. Seems to have taken a long time. Left home and paid off debt, built an emergency fund, can now save and invest. Note, baby steps 1, 2, and 3 are done separately and at one time. Like I said, baby step 4, 5, and 6 will actually be done together moving forward. Keep this in mind. The baby step thief doesn't say anything new. It's what every financial advisor says. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good advice. And what baby step says, invest 1,500% of the proceeds for retirement. But because it's what most of us, like you've heard before, I want to take a moment and look back on how mathematically delaying investing makes a difference in the long run. We will take the example of John and Jenny, who both earn $4,800 annually. John will invest for retirement from the age of 25 to 65 and will not follow the steps we have mentioned. He will just keep investing continuously. Jenny will follow these steps. That's why she will be 25. To put it simply, let's say Jenny only has a $500 credit card debt that she sells and raises $1,000 in the first month. She's done the first step and can now focus on her debt. She earns $4,000 a month and spends $2,000, add $500 car installment and minimum payment. I am going, hello friends. You are listening to this book through Pedias YouTube channel. If you like this book, then subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pedias. Don't forget, the payment on her credit card debt, which is 3% of the principal or $150 per month, means that her total living expenses are $2,650 per month. This leaves her $850 per month to pay off the debt. Because the credit card debt balance is the lowest, she will pay it off first. It will take her about 4 months to repay the credit card. Now she just has to pay for the car, meaning the monthly expenses are $2,500, which leaves her $500 extra to repay the car loan. By plugging it into the calculator, it shows that she will be debt-free in 6 months. Now she has to start building an emergency fund. Let's assume she wants to create a fund of 6 months, which would total $12,000. After becoming debt-free, she will have $2,000 left over after expenses. And let's not forget the $1,000 that she saved initially, meaning in 5.5 months, she will have a fully funded 6-month emergency fund. After about 1.5 years, she will be debt-free, have a full emergency fund, and will be able to invest $200 every month. By investing $200 every month for 28.5 years with an 8% return, her net worth will be $57,003. The next step is to save for college. Dave recommends using an education savings account or a 529 plan for college. I will explain these in detail in the next video, but for now, ESA plans are the most recommended in this overview because as long as your income is below $22,000 per year, you can invest $2,000 annually from the birth of the child until they turn 18, which will help you save a significant amount of tuition. It's sensible, But how bizarre does that sound when you do the math? For instance, if your monthly debt is 900 and 800 goes to interest, you'll pay about 10 grand in interest annually, which is a good tax deduction. If you're in the 30% tax bracket, it means you've saved 30% of $1,000 or $300 in taxes. But how much were you paying in interest? That's right, $1,000. So the logic is we spend $1,000 in interest to save $300 in taxes. Is it just me, or does this make no sense at all? Would you spend $1,000 to save $300? I wouldn't either. Baby step 7 is building serious wealth. Did you see how much Jen made earlier in this video? This is the stage where you build tremendous wealth, which is why you've been taking small steps, making sacrifices for a long time to get out of debt, create an emergency fund, and invest so that you can live and give in a way that's different from others. Because ultimately, money is just a tool, and you can mainly do 3 things with it: have fun, invest, and give. And you should do all 3. You should have fun with your money, doing whatever matters to you. You've worked hard and sacrificed a lot to get here. It's your reward. So enjoy your money. Keep investing because it will continue to grow your wealth and you'll keep succeeding financially. And don't forget to donate some of your money. In fact, once you reach this point, you'll realize that giving money away can be the most enjoyable thing you do, because helping someone in need always feels good. Whether it was you or not, did they know? This was Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. If you're interested in this financial plan, I suggest reading the book yourself. It has many tools and tips for your situation that I can't cover in this brief summary. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, please like and subscribe. I'm making more book summary videos. If you're new to the channel, check out my previous book summary playlist. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and have a great day.